Welcome back to the guys. It's time for another manga review. Welcome once again, guys. It's going to be on the second volume of apparently Disillusioned Adventures Will Save the World. This is the ultimate party is born. Now, I will say this one in particular has a different name when it comes to the anime. The anime that aired was called Adventurers Who Don't Believe in Humanity Will Save the World. Slightly different, but it is the same story. So just so you know, different names. Don't know why they decided to do that, but I believe I reacted to part of the anime, not the whole thing, but it is on my channel. Volume 1 is also on my channel, and this was brought to you by EM Press as well. So send me a copy for me to review to you guys. It feels like I'm reviewing a bunch of Volume 2s today, because that's pretty much what I've been reading lately. A bunch of Volume 2s. Here's another Volume 2 that I'm reading. So but it is what it is. This second volume to this one, the Press brought it. TheEmpress.com has an umbrella of companies that they release so many stuff to us, and like I said, a lot of these series now are being continuing because they don't just send me new stuff to review, but also some stuff that I've been already reviewing for you guys. So make sure you check out the first volume. You check out TheEmpress.com because they have quite a bit of stuff. Also, if you're watching up to this point, then consider subscribing to my channel. Give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing, and also, if you want to further support the channel, comment, like, and share, because that helps so much, tremendously, actually. And not just me, also EM Press. So again, it is by EM Press. I will say there is a parental advisory warning, explicit content. From the entire thing, there is one page in this volume that I would say is fan service, and it's very quick. I'll get to it when I get to my explanation of the volume, but just want to throw that out. If you're looking for one that's very explicit, this one is not it. I really appreciate the story, to be honest. I had reacted to it, so whenever I saw them sealed, and when they're sealed in plastic, it's gonna be explicit. I was like, whoa, they're in plastic, and volume 2 also came in plastic, and open it up, it isn't as much, but still want to throw that warning. It is there in the book. It says language nudity, sexual content, and violence. I forgot what the S was for. The story itself just follows the 4 characters again, specifically her, who is in the cover, who is Kuran, but also Nick. Nick is also a big part of it. He's kind of our protagonist. So Nick is the party's leader, and essentially he was the one that was in a rank C group, and he was kind of betrayed by his group, trained by a dude. He kind of was kicked out because he wasn't good enough. Tiana, she's a former noblewoman, also is a magic caster. She's the one that has an addiction with racing. And then we have Zem, who is a former priest. He has his background. Volume 1 explains it in detail, but he's the party's healer. And then her, who is kind of like the main warrior of the group, or supposed to be the main warrior. She's also a dragonkin, which is, you can slightly see the tail there in the bottom, but she is dragon type. She's not an elf, because of the ears, not an elf, dragonkin. So she's pretty strong. She was kind of left behind in a mission, and this is kind of what they play on in this volume. They're off to kill goblins, and while killing goblins, they bump into what seems to be a group that's going to have an ogre, which is an involved goblin in their world. And Nick is like, okay, we're gonna have support through Zem and Tiana, and I can help with the goblins, but I need you, Kuran, to be at the head of the group and attack this ogre. Now again, this is a big moment for them, because she this is how she was portrayed. Like, hey, you're gonna be up front, and then they left her there. Like, she doesn't know how to trust people. So there is a moment that she doubts it, and Nick ends up being the one that fights the ogre, and he kind of shows off that he was not in a rank C group for nothing. I mean, he actually is a lot stronger than he shows, and that he even knows himself. And he's able to kill this ogre with his tactics, which is what is good for him. Now, after this, there's a little bit of like connection between them and Nick and Kuran. I think from the four adventurers, they're gonna have a thing, and it's kind of obvious, and there is definitely a love interest between them too. There's an awkward, oh, I fell on top of you, but it's all about him breaking actually a necklace that she has. Now, we don't know how important this is to her until later on in the story. I've seen the anime, so I know that it is important to her, but she kind of blows it off. It's like, oh, it's nothing. And there's a whole part of Nick trying to go buy something for her to make her feel better, but he ends up just hanging out with her for the day. Again, it's a party that has come together because they have to pay their debts, but not because they want to be working together. So once they finish their missions, they kind of go on their way. Nick has the addiction of an idol who he has a little moment with her in this volume. Tiana is all about the racing, and Zem, our ex-priest, former priest, he's the one that gives us our fan service page in this volume. He goes into a brothel. I can't even find it anymore because it's very fast, but yeah, and it's actually not even explicit. Now that I'm looking at it, I don't want to show it here because it might be too explicit for YouTube, but they don't show anything. I'll just put it like that. They don't show anything at all. So just if you guys are worried about that, that's the scene. And then Tiana, we don't really see what she does and spend her money in, but she ends up bumping into Nick with a bunch of food. The volume ends with them being kind of forced into this mission by the guild to go explore an abandoned training facility that they're looking for a specific sword, and a sword of bond, I believe, and they end up falling into a trap that's not part of the map, and that's kind of how the volume ends. It's kind of their next mission. In a nutshell, it's a pretty good volume. It actually was a lot easier read than I thought it was going to be. It moves a lot faster than other stories, and which is why personally I appreciate it, because I do have a mountain of mangas, big mountain of mangas that I have to catch up on. So being able to finish this one pretty quickly was nice. It is a great story. I think it's one of that is not as appreciated as it should be, but it is a good story of basically them trying to form a trust amongst themselves, which it's hard to do, especially if they've all been betrayed at some point. So it is what it is. Guys, that is all for this review. If you haven't done so by now, guys, make sure you subscribe to my channel, give some love by commenting, liking, and sharing. I do have more stuff that I'll be releasing this week and the following weeks. In fact, actually, this video is pre-recorded, and I'll be releasing through the winter break that I have. But I do think I have enough to release through the entire break. So hopefully when I get back, I'll have more to review as well for you guys. So make sure you guys are watching everything, liking everything, and if you're watching up to this point, subscribing. So I do appreciate it, and guys, like always, don't be strangers. See you guys.